I decided in an effort to not bite off more than I can chew this winter, I think we're just going to back half the truck for now, put it on air, and maybe not necessarily worry about laying rockers this coming spring as much as I'd like to. It's a lot of work, and I'll get there, but I'm just going to focus on this, on maybe getting this bagged for now. So looking forward to refreshing some of my fab work that I did a long time ago. I've gained a lot of skill since doing all this. So probably I'm going to get Rick's Rangers, probably triangulated. We're 3-link, and we'll just cut this right here and go to the plasma table and get some new frame rails cut out, get all that fabbed up, try to make this look a lot better. Also, since this is not going to be any kind of a race truck or anything like that, I'm going to swap out the 8.8 for a 7.5, which according to Google is 2 inches narrower. So if that's the case, I'm going to do all my checking before I just go and do it. But if that's the case, that'll make clearing these wheels a lot easier without all that. And then we can just get the 3-link to bolt to the 7.5 into the frame, and that'll be pretty easy. This is just a lot more realistic. I'm going to continue building my body drop frame, and I'll just take my time and hunt for a 302 to put in it, and then whenever it is nice and done and ready, I'll just pull this cab and slap it on that frame, be ready to go. So we picked up the wheel spacers, and I've still got to pick up a little bit more hardware. I don't know what I was thinking. They didn't come with the lug nuts that go inside there, so I'll have to pick up some of those. But there they are. I kind of temporarily set everything up there, but I'll show you a better picture of it. I've got one where it's laying on the frame, and I have both wheels laying in the wheel well. Give us kind of an idea where we're headed. Kind of hypes me up pretty good. So I consistently like to bite off more than I can chew, and then the truck winds up being down for a long, long time. And I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to stay away from that. So I think what we're going to do now is just back half the truck instead of do the full 3/4 on the other frame. So we're going to cut this off here where I've got that welded on. All this fab work was done like 6 years ago, before I welded professionally. So it's not beautiful, but it wasn't bad for the time, and it served its purpose. But I think I'm going to cut the frame here, right here. I've been taking measurements, and I'm going to get something drawn up on a piece of paper to take up to the shop to. We've got a CNC plasma table up there. I'm going to draw out my frame rail, how I want it to go from front to back, and then just cut it out in pieces. Come here, weld it on. Measuring from the bed, I was having a hard time because I know that there's some kind of rise that takes place between this bed bolt and those 2 bed bolts down there. I leveled the frame up, was trying to measure from the floor. There's just too much. There's too much variables there that you can't account for. So crawling under the bed, if you crawl under the bed here and you measure, the distance is, there we go. There's the bed bolt right there, and then right here. Those are both the same distance from bed floor to mounting surface. And then we flip over here. There's the front one. There's an inch difference. So I think I'm going to just make it an inch rise from front to back. And I think that'll be good enough. So not giving up with a body drop, just going to postpone it so that I have time to, I'd like to put a 302 and probably make it automatic. Something that if my wife wanted to drive it, she could. This was originally her first truck that she bought whenever she was 16 years old. We've had it the whole time. So I would like to kind of get her back in it. So here's something I've come up with for my back half. Sat out here and drew for a while and then took it up to the shop and drew this and made a template just to bring it back here to make sure it would work. Next I'll make 4 of them, set their spacings correctly, and then cut the back half of the truck off and weld that new one on. To make sure I get the right body fitment, I left, this is the front bed bolt holes, so we'll be able to take the bed and stick it back on here. And then I'll be able to bolt the back half to the bed, put a jack under it, make sure the alignment's correct, and then mark it, cut it, bring it back, tack it, take the bed off, weld her out. I intend on putting, I'm going to put hinges back here, and it's going to be a dump bed. I'm going to do 2 cross members, mount some bags in here, put some plates, put my compressors over top of the arch, a tank on the front and the back. And I have not figured out what I'm going to do about a fuel cell yet. I may actually see if I can't build one to go in here, set in front of my cross member for the bed. I'm going to cut the whole floor out inside of the bed bolts. So we'll come back to like here and go straight over and do the same up front. Gonna leave this notch or this bed cut out like it is. Start like here, go all the way across, come all the way back, have the whole bed floor open up. I was considering just kind of making this look better, but it's going to be way, way easier to do the back half idea like I talked about. Then next step after that is build a cross member and use these bolt hole locations. Rick's Rangers has a 4-link or 3-link, whatever, whichever you want, that uses these and goes back to the rear axle and uses the factory axle leaf spring mounts to locate the axle. So I may do that, or I may just go ahead and make my own. I was thinking about making my own brackets that weld on here over top of where that was at. Making some pretty rowdy lower length bars to do like a bag on bar. Make my bracket right here. But we'll see. So we're switching from static to bagged. Here is my, well, this is all done about 6 years ago. So we're gonna undo it, put some bag brackets on, be ready to go. Here's one of the reasons I started building a different frame in the first place. This truck is really, really clean, except for behind the original factory spring bucket. It was kind of nasty. So that's one reason I started on that other, doing a 3/4 to do the body drop, which I'm not giving up on. I'm going to keep doing that. I want to make sure that I can have achievable goals, because this truck sat down for a long, long time. I don't want to do that anymore. So we're going to put this one on air, and then whenever the time comes to swap over to the 3/4 frame to body it, I just want to make sure I have the whole frame ready to go. And I got a bunch of other plans I'm going to do when that time comes, like 302, and probably go to an automatic so that my wife can drive it if she needs to. And that's all kinds of stuff. So this is only temporary, but we'll go ahead and patch it. The time has come to cut the back end of the truck off. Someone decided they were going to buy my rear end and my 4-link and all that stuff. And I'm going to send my arches and everything with them. They can cut them out and reconfigure them for their own use. I've got my template over here. So, got my cut line. I had this one set up, this first cut line, and then realized I could probably give myself a little bit of grace by coming back to here. So we're gonna leave a plenty. We're gonna take more off. We can always do that. It's always pretty nerve-wracking when you go and do something totally irreversible like that. But I say I've got a good plan. I think I'm on the right track. If not, it's something I can't fix. But pretty excited about this. So a lot of bouncing around in this video. Took a lot of, there's a lot of information. A lot of things changed throughout the course, and I'm not very good at this YouTubing stuff. The body drop is still going to happen. It'll probably be next winter's project. pretty happy with the way this is going. I got a lot of things sitting here. I suppose I needed to talk to close the video out because there's not a whole lot. Like I said, a lot of stuff changed while I was working on that. So hopefully I can get my act together and get you guys some better videos. I've been taking a lot of videos, and I've got a bunch of parts sitting here in front of me. So a next video I'm going to try to make about the parts that I bought, the parts that I've been able to engineer and make, and how everything's come together. Try to do a little bit better on install and stuff like that. So if you like what you see, like and subscribe. Thanks.